Hello and welcome to my course on AI automation powered by N8N. In today's lesson, I'm going to cover the integration between N8N and Airtable, and I'm going to cover both the integration options, access token as well as OAuth 2. So let's get to the screen share. As we continue to build this workflow, I'm going to add the Airtable node over here. So you can see that there are 8 actions available on the Airtable node, and there is a trigger as well. You can have some base action, get many bases or get base schema, or you can have record actions. For example, create a record, create or update a record, delete, get, search, update record. What we are interested is in creating a record. So I'll click on that. So now you can see that I do not have any credential created so far for the Airtable integration with my N8N workspace, and that is what I'm going to show you step by step in this particular lesson. Let's click on the documentation first. I'll open this. So this opens up the documentation of Airtable node, and you can see all the details are available. Some templates are available. What we are interested is in creating the credentials first. So I'll click on this Airtable credentials documentation guide, and you can see that you can use these credentials to authenticate the following nodes. So if I go back over here, if I click on create new credentials, you will see that there are two types of credentials that we can create. One is connect using access token, the other one is OAuth. So first I'm going to show you how to create the access token integration, and for that you can see I have to paste the access token over here, and it tells me that we have to enable following scopes: data.records read, data.records write, and schema.bases read. So we'll go back over here, and you can see that the prerequisite is create an Airtable account. So I've already created an Airtable account, so I'll open that up. So my Airtable workspace is open. Let's go back to the documentation again, and you can see that supported authentication methods are personal access token, which is also called PAT, and OAuth 2. So now we'll go back and see how we can do it. And as I told you, I'll explain both these authentication methods. So what you have to do is, once you log into your Airtable, I have already created a base over here, which is like customer development. That is where we are going to add a record in our workflow. But for now, we have to do the integration or setup first. So for that, you have to click this user icon over here and go to this builders hub. You can see that it has library, developers and resources. We are interested in this developers section, and first, like I said, we'll talk about the personal access token. So I'm going to click on it, and it says you have no personal access tokens for now. So I'm going to create a token, and first it is asking me what is the name of this token. So I'm going to just say N8N. And now it is asking me to add the scopes. Remember, like when we were creating this, it is asking us to at least have these 3 scopes. So we are going to go back over here and start adding these scopes. So data.record read was there, and then data.records write was there, and finally there was schemas.bases.read. Then it asks us this token can access the following bases and workspaces. I'll just say add all resources. What you can also do is, if I want to just allow a single base, you can do that as well. For example, over here I can allow just this base, so that this particular integration token can only access or update records in this particular base only. But for this example, let's leave it for all resources, and it says all current and future bases and all current and future workspaces. So it covers everything. You do not need to create token further. However, this is not the recommended approach. You should follow least privilege principle approach, where you are only giving the access or creating the token to a particular base or a workspace where you want the integration to happen, not everything into your account. For now, it is just an example, so we'll leave it here, and I'm going to click on create token. So this gives me the token. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to click on done. So this has created one integration token. It has an ID over here, so you have to make sure that you have copied the token. And now I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to paste this in my N8N. So once I paste it, I click on save. All right, so it says credentials successfully created, connection tested successfully. So that means we have successfully created a personal access token to connect our Airtable account with our N8N workspace. Now let's quickly see what are the steps to create these credentials via OAuth 2 mechanism as well. So for that, I'm going to exit this screen, and I'm going to come back over here, create new credentials, and this time I'm going to use the OAuth 2. So when I click on OAuth 2, it gives me OAuth redirect URL. I have to first copy it. So it has been copied. This client ID and client secrets, we are going to get it from our Airtable account builders hub. So I'm going to come back over here, and you can see first we created personal access token, which is this one. Now I'm going to create on OAuth integration. So over here I have to click on register and OAuth integration. Click on this. I'm going to give it name again, N8N and it is asking for a redirect URL. I'm going to paste the redirect URL that I copied from here. So this was the redirect URL. Let's go back and verify. Yes, this was the one that I copied. So I paste it over here, click on register integration. Now it is asking me to provide some of the details. So I can have a tagline, I can have a homepage URL about my integration. I can upload a logo as well. I'll click on it. I'll select the icon of GenAI Unplugged. Now this is the client ID that we have to keep a note of. I'll copy this, go back to my n8n workspace and I'll paste it over here. So client ID has been provided. Now we have to generate a client secret. Let's come back over here. You can see that it says generate client secret as a link. So I'm going to click on this. It says, are you sure you want to generate this client secret? I'll click on generate. It has generated the client secret. Now I have to copy it and make a note of it. So I'll click on done over here and I'll go back and just paste it for now. So I've just pasted it. I'm not clicking on connect my account because we still have some settings to do in our integration. So here we have to select the scope, which is data.records:read, data.records:write, and finally we want schema.basis:read. So these are the minimum permissions that n8n requires to integrate with Airtable. So we'll leave it over here and then we'll keep scrolling down and click on grant access. And finally click on the save changes. So now we have to go back over here. So now I'm going to click on this connect my account. It is going to open a pop-up and over here you can see now it is asking which resources I want access on. So I'll click on this add all resources. Same setting that we did for personal access token. I'm going to click on grant access. Make sure that pop-ups are allowed on the window that you are doing because this is a pop-up that is opening. If you're not seeing this screen, that means you have blocked pop-up over here. You can see that now account has been successfully connected and this particular credential now can also access your Airtable account. So both the methods of integration has been successfully created in our n8n workspace. Before we go back to our workflow and add the record, I wanted to show you one more thing. So if you come back over here, you can see that this integration will be limited to development use. Basically what it is telling is that if you want to let other Airtable users authorize this integration, you will have to add support email, privacy policy and terms and conditions. This is very similar to Notion as well, where when you have to create a public integration, then you would require your integration to be submitted to Notion team. They will approve it. Over here as well, if you want other people to use this kind of integration, you have to provide these details so that it can be used for production as well. But for our example where we are integrating to the workspace or the base where you have full control or your client has full control, you do not need to publish these details. So now let's go back to our workflow. I'm going to click on cross over here. So you can see both the credentials are created. I'm going to use the personal access token for now. So the resource that we are going to act upon is record, not the base. So I'm going to just leave it over here. Operation is create. There are other operations like I showed you. Then over here, we have to select a base and we are going to use it from the list. So if I click on it, it is going to fetch. So you can see that customer development CRM, that was the base that we had. If I go back, so you can see that this is the base that I have. If I click on it, it would have some records of the customers. So let me just cross it. Let me cross this one too. So you can see that in this customer development CRM base, I already have 5 records. So I'm going to go back now and select this one. Okay, so the base is selected. What table we want to select? It is asking us customers, interview, problem statements, features. So we want to select the customers. Now it is similar to the Google Sheets node where it is asking us to map the column mode. So I'm selecting map each column manually. You can select map automatically as well. So over here, I'll go back to our if node where the filter data was there. So values to send, name is first name. So I'm going to click on this and drag it over here. Let me expand this to make it more readable. So now I'm going to collapse this. Let's open the if node where the filter data is there. So first name we have already dragged. Now we are going to drag the last name as well. So it is like Dheeraj Sharma. There is no space. So I'm going to click here and provide a space. So now the first name property or name property has been filled over here. What we want is an email as well. I'm going to just drag the email too. So the personas are mapped to this, but we are getting owner. So what you have to do is you have to basically configure your Google form so that you are only accepting the personas that the CRM is expecting. But we did not do that. It is a free text. So if I'm going to add a role over here or drag the role over here, it is going to give us an error. So I'm going to leave this field empty, maybe just delete these two and even this one. So let's test this out. So new record has been added. So now you can go back over here and you can see a new user or new customer has been added with my name and the email address. And like I said, persona is a list column which allows only certain values. Maybe when the sales team connect with this customer, they will better understand who this person is, what their role are, what is the usage type, and when they can schedule an interview with them. So that's how the Notion task that we created can become more useful in enriching this customer information in your CRM. And if we go back to our workflow step, now if I go back to the canvas, you can see that we have also automated the last step, which is create an entry in CRM like Salesforce, HubSpot, Airtable. Maybe in future videos, I'll try to show you the integration with Salesforce or HubSpot, but for now, Airtable was the choice of our CRM